Hey guys, Hawk here. So we have a little bit of a different angle here, and this is kind of my live streaming atmosphere. It's a little bit dusty here and there. I tried to pick up as best as I can, but this is going to be the view for a little while at least. It's a little bit easier on me. So, I have two things here. I have a worker stock. This is the one for the Chris Vector. This is in the nice actual cast version. This is not 3D printed. This is been injection molded. That's what I'm looking for. And then we also have a clear worker 22 magazine right here. And before we get any further into this, I want to give a big shout out to Banggood, who has sponsored this video, and they went ahead and contacted me and said, hey, we want to send you some free stuff. So of course I said yes. And so I'm doing this review in exchange for these free items. Now, first of all, it's looking good, or it's looking bad. I try to be as critical of these as I can, despite the fact that they've been sent to me for free. I didn't purchase these myself. They purchased them for me so that they would be free. And I received these very, very quickly, like 2 days after it was sent priority mail. So I'm assuming they have, but however, there's more to this order than just these two pieces. So I'm hoping that they have two different warehouses, and they sent one from the American warehouse, which is why this came so fast, and one from the Chinese warehouse, which is why those are going to come slower. So if that's the case, I'll make a video later. I'm assuming that's the case, but I have a few more things that should be coming, but I will do this review for now because I have no idea how long that's going to be. So let's go ahead and talk about the worker magazine first, because this is, I kind of popped this open. I did that myself. So this is the first time I've owned a worker magazine. I've seen them before, but this is the first time I've owned them. I don't really like worker 22 magazines all that much for several reasons. One of them, I don't like the tactical curve. I think it's kind of pointless and stupid. All my opinions. But if it was straight, I would have way more of a time. I would have way easier of a time buying these. Also, the follower is pretty short this ways. This ways. And the reason I'm assuming is because it has a curve around here. But in doing that, it kind of has a problem wobbling back and forth like that. And that is prone to friction, which is prone to jamming. Everyone who I've seen runs these has said, oh, there's no problem jamming, they run perfectly, there's no problem at all. But every time I've seen someone actually use these, they do one of these with their blasters. They're firing, and then they go, or they have to fix something, and like, what's going on? It's because it always gets stuck. So despite what people have told me, that's what my experience has been with it. Beyond that, you can supposedly load more than 22 rounds, except if I think it's up to like 24. I think I'm going from what Make Test Battle said a long time ago, so it might be wrong. But supposedly you can load up to 24, but if you do, it's going to jam a lot, so you only want to load 22. That's also a problem for me because I'm going to have to start counting how many rounds I put in. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm loading up my 18 mags, I don't count. I just keep going until the follower stops, and then I pick up another mag. So I kind of don't want to load. Okay, I'm full, 1, 2, and then go to the next one. Maybe that's just me, but it's a bunch of small inconveniences. It's a bunch of small things that add up to me not liking worker 22s. It doesn't really have anything to do with one thing in particular. However, it did come from Banggood rather quickly. It came from, I'm assuming, the American warehouse again. And so it got here in priority mail shipping. That's super fast. I think they have different options for different shipping rates. But it was also very cheap. I think this is one of the cheapest places I've found these. I think this was like $13, 14, maybe 15, somewhere. It was somewhere in that region. And you can, if you're buying these from an American third-party place, these things can go up to like $22 for each one, and that is quite a pain in the neck. So it's nice that these are actually affordable, and if you wanted to get a group of them, I think Banggood would be a genuine place to get them. Now, this stock. This is the stock from the Chris Vector. I'm not sure if it has an actual designation, but this is the injection molded one that when they started injection molding their Chris Vector kits, they also made a stock. And I have a very, very high opinion of this stock. So high, in fact, I'm not sure why the other worker stock is more popular than this one. Yeah, I said it. I love this stock. I don't know if it's just me and the ergonomics that I have, but I absolutely adore this stock. This thing is freaking awesome. First of all, the construction is way overbuilt. It's way thicker than it needs to be. I could freaking knock someone over the head with this thing. That's all solid. There's no screws in this thing. This thickness right here, this thickness over here, that's solid. That's solid plastic. This thing, I don't know how they're selling this for this cheap. This stock is like 13 bucks. This is a very cheap stock. I actually would very recommend you getting this stock. The only downside is it only comes in black, I think. At least on Banggood, it only comes in black. So that's a thing. But I think it's mainly to do with the popularity. It's not as popular as the other worker stock, the standard one. And so I don't think they've bothered making more colors for this, which makes sense. It's got all the features that you would expect, like the double control on both sides, and there's the locking mechanism on both sides. For springers, it might not be your first choice because you can see that hole in there. So you can use a springer, however, you're going to have to take off that back part, and I think they have an adapter for it, or just drill a hole in the back of yours. So, or like, I guess if it's a tube, cut off the back, so that the plunger rod can go in there. But if you have that thing sticking out, I don't think it's going to be able to fit in there. So, but yeah, this is, I'm not sure how they are selling this cheap, because this is actually really nice stock. One of the reasons why I like it is it's not heavy, but it's pretty weighty. It's definitely not hollow, and you can definitely feel that. But you would think it would flop around everywhere, but it actually fits on your blaster pretty snugly. You have to kind of really stick it in there, so it's not going to be wiggling around in the slightest. I was kind of playing with this stock earlier, I'm not gonna lie. And I like mine because the cheek rest, or excuse me, the stock point is actually way lower than it would be. So if you have a normal stock, it would probably be about here, but this one's much lower, and it's actually a little bit of an angle. I really like that because I have the unfortunate side effect of being right-handed and being left eye dominant, which means if I'm going to shoot properly, I actually have to cross all the way over from this all the way over to this. So it kind of sucks for me that I end up being that way. Ethereal Fortress's stock is actually much lower than a lot of other blasters, and that's one of the reasons why I like it so much. And the other worker stock is good. Don't get me wrong; it's very comfortable and stuff, but I like this one much more. I actually really enjoy this one. So I think it's a great deal too, especially for how much it is. You can get Nerf stuff that's more expensive than that. So this gets a big thumbs up for me. Also, another thing, it's in the details, right? That logo right there, super small. They could have made it bigger. They didn't. I really appreciate Worker doing that. And you didn't hear this from me. No offense to Worker. Obviously, I don't recommend doing this, I guess I could say. But it's raised, so if you wanted to remove that and give it a paint job, you won't have a logo in the way of your aesthetics. And that's a big deal. That's a big deal. You don't have to do any filling. So yeah, I really like this stock. I don't think I could say anything negative about it. I guess if I really had to, it doesn't have room for the thing, but then it would look weird back here. But I don't use springers anyway. This is the perfect stock for me, is what I'm trying to say. And I've already gone on long enough about this stock, so I'm going to shut up now. But once again, if there is another package coming, then I will definitely make a separate video on that. But again, huge shout out to Banggood. They are pretty awesome for sending me stuff like this, and it's nice to kind of feel a little bit justified with all the hours that I've put into this channel when I get someone knocking on my door asking to review some stuff. So thank you to Banggood, and thank you to all of you guys who got me here in order to get stuff like this. So I think that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching.